Hello everyone and welcome to my review of Caulfield Guineas Day. Great day of racing all around yesterday. 3 Group 1s. Autumn Boy did what his dad and grandfather did, winning the Caulfield Guineas. I speak of the Autumn Sun and also Redute's Choice. Transatlantic got up in a photo in the 2-rack. We had Globe causing an upset to both Treasure the Moment and Buckaroo in the Might and Power. It was a great day's racing. We're going to go through the 3 Group 1s. I'll discuss my thoughts, and then we're going to go through the black bookers using the black booker formula that I highlighted earlier this week. Quickly touch on the futures bets and also bring back Salmonator's statements. Let's get on with the Group 1s. We'll start with the Caulfield Guineas, obviously taken out by Autumn Boy. We had a horse scratched in the morning called Vega for Luck, who was supposed to go forward and inject some speed into the race. It didn't matter in the end because they still went 3/4 of a second inside standard time west of Swindon, and also Hillier working up from wider draws to inject that speed into the race. Autumn Boy, the winner, settled 2 pairs back along the inside, and Damien Lane just perfectly got that horse off the fence into clear running. Planet Red was about midfield and it was off the inside. Observer, look away if you're on Observer. I was, and yeah, I tried to look away, but my eyes were glued to it all throughout the run, and I can't get that out of my head now. It ran 3rd, and it was quite unlucky. In terms of the Beaten Brigade, the main horse out of the Beaten Brigade, in terms of a talking point, would probably have to be Woderton, the favourite, who ended up running 10th as a favourite, which not many favourites do. But if you didn't see the steward's report, Woderton, I think it was lame and had lacerations, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. So clear excuses there for the favourite. Autumn Boy, very good horse. It was obviously 3 to 4 wide, no cover in the Golden Rose, complete forgive run, and off its best performances, it was right in with a chance yesterday. Observer, well, where does it go next? I heard they might be going to the Cox Plate, but there's also the Drummond Golf Vars on the same day, Cox Plate Day at the Valley. So wherever they go next with Observer, it's going to be very hard to beat. I'm pretty sure it's come into favouritism for the Victoria Derby as well. The 4-horse Might and Power field was taken out by Globe, and it was a bit of an upset because Treasure the Moment versus Buckaroo was the match race that we're all looking forward to, and we all thought it was going to be a match race, but Globe was the one out to spoil the party and upset the 2 big guns. Look, it was an absolute peach of a ride from Blake Shin. He went above standard pretty early, and then once they got to the top of the hill, he really backed it off, and Treasure the Moment tagged up Buckaroo, and he's a shocker. And then it was 3 wide across the track from the 800 metres. Blake Shin backed off the tempo so much so that J-Mac pulled out 3 wide on Buckaroo in a 4-horse field. And yeah, they went slow enough down the side so that Globe would have a sprint at the end of it, and he well and truly did. Kicked away from the 2 big guns, Treasure the Moment and Buckaroo, to secure the Group 1. Treasure the Moment, as I said in my preview, I thought she was a little bit of a risk at that price based off her last start run against Pride of Jenny on that good 3 track at the Valley. So in my view, I wasn't disappointed with Treasure the Moment. I'm sure a lot of people would have been because of the price she was. The one I was disappointed with was Buckaroo. Not too many excuses. It did get exposed quite early on down the side, but still it was a big enough margin between it and Globe to not be making too many excuses for that runner. Brilliant win, Globe. I heard they might be paying up for a Cox Plate. The Group 1 2-rack handicap belongs to Tony Gollan and Transatlantic. It went straight to the front and was able to get the job done. The Sandown Stakes form came to the fore here with Evaporate also running second, who won the Sandown Stakes. But Evaporate got a long way off Transatlantic, and if Evaporate was a pair closer, it probably wins. As I said, the Sandown Stakes form turned out to be the best form heading into the 2-rack handicap. Outside the top 2, Like a Lucy ran very well. Just wanted to lay in at the top of the straight, and that might have cost it a half a length or so. If it fixes that up, it's going to win plenty of races. In terms of the others, Feroce, I thought just didn't like having no cover. I think it's better suited with cover rather than going outside the leader. The favourite in the race and the flop was Sepples. Look, it copped a little bit of interference by Lazura from Feroce at the top of the hill, and then yeah, it didn't really do much. It finished last. It said in the stewards report it had lacerations. So an excuse there for Seppels. Take nothing away from the winner though, Transatlantic. It was brilliant. Alright, I've put the Black Booker formula through the Caulfield card, and these are the Black Bookers out of yesterday. If you've forgotten what the step-by-step process was, they must be in the top half of the field for the last 200 metres. We cross out the fastest last 200 metres, and the winner must be first or second up, must be within 3 lengths, and must be doing some good work after the line. There's 4 horses that I've picked out from yesterday's card that we can follow, and the first one comes out of the Weekend Hustler Stakes, won by Zoo Sensation. King Zephyr's the runner-up, but the horse that fit the Black Booker step-by-step process criteria is Benagil, who ran into 3rd. Craig Williams rode Benagil. It was first up yesterday. It had a run maybe a length ahead of King Zephyr in the run on the fence, and it really got going late. And it's a horse that has a very good second up record, Benagil. I'm pretty sure it's 2 wins from 3 starts, so we'll have to follow Benagil wherever it goes next, because it was very good in defeat behind the 2 big guns in the betting, which was Zoo Sensation and King Zephyr. Out of the Caulfield Guineas, it fit the criteria. I'm sure a lot of people will be black booking this horse. It's in the Godolphin Blue Observer. Obviously didn't have much luck at all. Once it got clear running, it picked itself up all right. It never looked like a winning chance once it got out, because Autumn Boy and even Planet Red were often gone. But like I said before, Observer, where will they go next? Well, there's a couple of options on Cox Plate Day. There is the Cox Plate. I don't know whether they're going to pay up and go there, because I think there's a much more suitable race in the Drummond Golf Vase, which is over the same distance as the Cox Plate. It's only for 3-year-olds, and I heard they want to go to the Derby, so that's obviously a good stepping stone for the Victoria Derby, and so is the Cox Plate. But like I said, I think a more suitable race would be against its own age group in the Drummond Golf Vase. But wherever they go with Observer, it's going to be competitive, because how it ran yesterday, it's got plenty of upside. Out of the Scalacci Stakes, brilliant win by Giga Kick, but I want to highlight the horse in the brown with the white cross and the yellow cap, called Arabian Summer. Don't know whether it would have won the race, but would have definitely finished closer. It got held up from about the 300 to the 200, got out at about the 150 and really sprinted home well. This is a horse that ran first up in the Moir Stakes at the Valley and ran pretty well without catching the eye over towards the inside. And then yesterday in the Scalacci Stakes, it was really powering through the line well, doing some good work after the line. It was only second up yesterday, Arabian Summer. It's got a win in it in the future. And we'll finish off with the Northwood Plume. She's bulletproof, went straight to the front, said see you later, and won. There was an eye-catching run from the back in Vestas that I'm sure would go in everyone's black book, but not in the Salmonator Black Booker formula. It was the second place getter that we're going to put in the black book, and it's Gumdrops with the dark blue, light blue and yellow colours. It finished in between She's Bulletproof and Vestas. It was a horse that ran first up in a benchmark 85 behind Johnny DeWolf first up. Came down here against its own sex yesterday. It was second up. It enjoyed a nice run behind the speed, and I thought it ran really well behind a proven performer in She's Bulletproof and a really good 4-year-old mare on the rise in Vestas, who was storming home from the back. So Gumdrop's next start, third up, I reckon we'll be ready to peak, and hopefully we can follow it into a nice race with a nice price. So those were the black bookers from yesterday's meeting at Caulfield: Benagil, Observer, Arabian Summer and Gumdrops. Quickly touching on the Futures Bet series, we had 3 yesterday, which were Golden Path in the Might and Power, didn't run. We had Prestige Olay in the Caulfield Guineas, who ran last, and Space Rider in the Caulfield Guineas, who ran 11th. No new additions into the Futures Bet series this week. Bring back Salmonator's statements. I've forgotten to include this the past couple of weeks, but we had 2 more statements. Well, one of them got up. I said after the Memsey Day meeting that Seppels will win a Group 1 in its career at some point. Ended up winning at its very next start in the Rupert Clark. Obviously, Barrackeel was obviously already ticked off from a couple of weeks ago, and up the top, I said Within the Law will win the T Rose. I ended up going against it with Apocalyptic, which worked out well for me, but No, it didn't win the T Rose, so I got that one wrong. No new statements this week. Well, thanks everyone for watching this week's review show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave any comments down below of what you thought of yesterday's racing. And until next video, bye for now.